Before you scroll, this is one of those stories that makes you question what you do when you have almost nothing left to give. If you believe kindness still matters in this world, you're in the right place. Welcome to Mr. Joe's exclusive stories. He checked his wallet and stared at the last note inside. It sat there like an accusation, folded once, slightly torn at the edge, the kind of money that had been counted too many times already. I knew exactly how much it was before I opened the wallet, but seeing it still felt like a quiet punch to the chest. This money was supposed to feed me for the next 3 days. 3 days. That was the plan. Bread, rice, maybe noodles if I was careful. No coffee, no bus rides. Just walking and waiting and hoping Friday would come quickly. I had done the math over and over in my head, the way you do when life feels like a balancing act you can't afford to fail. Then a stranger stepped in front of me and asked for help. "Sir," he said gently. Not loud, not desperate, just enough to stop me. "Please." I froze. The street was alive around us, cars rushing past, horns blaring, people moving with purpose. Everyone had somewhere to be, everyone except him. And suddenly I looked up at his face. He was older than I first thought, but life had aged him faster than time ever could. His eyes were tired, not wild. His hands shook, but not with entitlement. There was no anger in him. No expectation, just quiet need. What he did next still doesn't make sense. I stood there longer than I should have, fingers gripping the worn leather of my wallet, my mind racing faster than my heartbeat. 3 days of hunger weighed against 1 moment of mercy. It felt absurd that something so small, a single note, could feel so heavy. People passed by. Some pretended not to see. Others glanced, then looked away as if eye contact alone might cost them something. This was the moment most people walk on. I had walked on before, many times. "I don't usually ask," the man said quickly, like he was apologizing for existing. "But I really need help." I swallowed. My throat felt dry. The answer was already forming in my mouth. "I'm sorry. I can't. Maybe next time." "I understand," he said before I could speak, reading the hesitation in my face. "God bless you." He stepped aside. That should have been the end of it. I should have walked away. That's what logic said. That's what survival said. I had problems of my own. Real ones. Hunger didn't care about intentions. But my feet wouldn't move. Something about the way he said it, no bitterness, no blame, stuck to me. I turned back before I could stop myself. "What do you need it for?" I asked. He hesitated. Not because he was lying, but because he didn't want to sound like he was selling a story. "My daughter," he said quietly. "She's at the hospital across town. I need bus fare." I left the shelter in a rush this morning. I didn't think they'd discharge her so suddenly. Hospital. The word dropped straight into my chest. "She's been asking for me," he added, his voice cracking just enough to betray how carefully he'd been holding himself together. "I haven't seen her in weeks." I looked at his hands. They were rough, cracked, the hands of someone who worked hard before life took a turn. I thought about my empty fridge, about the gnawing hunger I'd feel tomorrow, about how thin the line was between stability and slipping. I nodded slowly. "I'm sorry," I said again. He smiled. A real one. Gentle. "Thank you for stopping," he said. "That alone means more than you know." He turned away. That was the moment. The moment when you know exactly what the right thing is and exactly how much it's going to cost you. I reached into my pocket. The wallet felt heavier now, like it was arguing with me. I opened it. One last note. I stared at it, my thoughts colliding. "You'll regret this. You'll be hungry. You'll feel foolish." But there was another voice, quieter but steadier. "You'll survive." Slowly, almost painfully, I pulled out the note and placed it into the stranger's hand. No speech, no expectation, just a choice. "For the bus," I said. The stranger froze. He stared at the money, then at me, then back at the money again, as if it might disappear if he blinked. "No," he said quickly, pushing it back toward me. "I can't take your last." "It's okay," I interrupted. My voice shook, but I meant it. "Please." His hands trembled as he took it, and then he broke. Tears streamed down his face, heavy and silent, as he bowed his head and pressed the money to his chest. He whispered something under his breath, words I barely caught through the noise of the street. "Thank you," he said. "You don't know what this means." I nodded, suddenly uncomfortable with how exposed kindness can feel when it's seen so clearly. "Get to her," I said. "That's what matters." He squeezed my hand once, hard, like he was trying to memorize the moment. And then he ran. I stood there long after he disappeared into the crowd. The cold crept in slowly. So did the doubt. What have you done? I walked home instead of taking the bus. The sky darkened, rain falling softly, the kind that soaks you without announcing itself. My shoes were wet by the time I reached my apartment. My stomach growled angrily. That night, I cooked the last of my rice. Plain. No seasoning. I told myself it was fine. I'd figure something out tomorrow. I always did. Still, when I lay down to sleep, fear kept tapping at my thoughts. What if you were wrong? Morning came too quickly. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Almost. Hello. I said. Is this the man from yesterday? A woman asked, her voice trembling slightly. My heart skipped. Who's this? My name is Clara, she said. I don't know if you remember me. You helped me at a cafe near Market Street. The memory surfaced slowly. A woman sitting alone. Red eyes. Me offering a seat because it felt easier than pretending not to see. Yes, I said. I remember. I've been looking for you, she said. I asked the barista. Came back this morning. I didn't know your name. Why? I asked, confused. She inhaled sharply. My husband died 3 months ago. Yesterday was the first time I went out alone. I was overwhelmed. You didn't know that. You just listened. I closed my eyes. I own a small company, she continued. After I left the cafe, I went to a meeting I almost canceled. It changed everything. I need someone I can trust. Someone kind. My heart pounded. There's more, she said softly. On my way to the office, I saw a man crying at a bus stop. He said a stranger helped him get to the hospital to see his daughter. The room felt suddenly very still. He said your name, she whispered. That's how I found you. She's okay, Clara added quickly. His daughter. She's stable. Relief crashed through me so hard I had to sit down. Clara offered me a job. A steady one. A real one. Enough to breathe again. When the call ended, I stared at my empty wallet on the table. Sometimes, giving feels like losing. Until the world shows you otherwise. I still don't carry much cash. I still check my wallet too often. But now, when I see someone standing quietly on a corner, asking softly for help, I remember this. The moment you think you have nothing left to give might be the moment everything changes. If this story moved you, even a little, don't let it end here. Like this video so it can reach someone who needs hope today. Share it with a friend who still believes in kindness. And if you want more stories that remind us we're all human, subscribe to Mr. Joe's exclusive stories. Because sometimes, one story can change a life.